All right, so this is a pretty big deal. Bernie Sanders has introduced a bill that would tax billionaires' wealth gains during the pandemic. So, one thing a lot of people have been paying attention to as the country suffers and withers in the pain that has come from the coronavirus pandemic, there's a small group of people that are really making a boatload of cash and raising their wealth, okay, raising their net worths due to stock increases. Okay, and those are the billionaires, your Jeff Bezoses of the world. Okay, they are gaining a lot during this pandemic, and it's like, holy crap, this small group of people seems to be making all the cash, while everyone else is, completely going through crap. People are being evicted. People don't have healthcare. People don't have jobs. They're broke. People are suffering right now, and so people are starting to question, like, hey, what's going on? You'll even see Tucker Carlson doing this kind of a thing. Um, so this article reads, Senator Bernie Sanders on Thursday introduced legislation to impose a 60% tax on billionaires' wealth gains from March 18th through the end of the year, and to use the revenue raised by the tax to direct Medicare to pay all Americans out-of-pocket health expenses for a one-year period. The bill from Sanders, a prominent progressive and runner-up in 2020 primary, connects two of his longtime priorities. Sanders said Thursday that the measure is designed to help people who are struggling during the pandemic. Quote, the legislation I am introducing today will tax the obscene wealth gains billionaires have made during this extraordinary crisis to guarantee healthcare as a right to all for an entire year. At a time of enormous economic pain and suffering, we have a fundamental choice to make. We can continue to allow the rich to get much richer while everyone else gets poorer and poorer, or we can tax the winnings a handful of billionaires made during the pandemic to improve the health and well-being of tens of millions of Americans. It was introduced with Ed Markey and Kirsten Gillibrand. Ed Markey in a pretty heated race with Joe Kennedy. So Ed Markey is a progressive, so hopefully he will win. Quote, not only is this a common sense proposal, but it's a moral one, and Congress should be doing all we can to assist Americans struggling right now, Gillibrand said. So Gillibrand kind of is a little bit better than some of the others, but she's introducing the bill here. The bill would impose 60% tax on the amount billionaires increase in the net value of their assets between March 18th and the end of the year. The net value of assets on a specified day would be the difference between the value of all tangible and intangible property and the amount of debt owed. The bill would direct the Treasury Department to create rules and methods for determining the value of the assets for the purposes of calculating the tax, as well as anti-abuse rules to prevent billionaires from avoiding the 60% tax. This is the healthcare portion of the bill, similar to the legislation that Sanders and Pramila Jayapal introduced earlier this year. So Sanders' office cited an estimate from the Progressive Americans for Tax Fairness and the Institute for Policy Studies that found that a 60% tax on 467 billionaires' wealth gains from March 18th to August 5th would raise about $422 billion. So, this is a big deal. I think this is definitely a winning proposal. Like I said, as everyone suffers, like 10 billionaires are making boatloads of cash. I think this makes sense. I think it's a moral one, but I also think it just makes sense in general for the well-being, the public, the general welfare of the public, of the American people. People are out here, and also there's probably going to be a lot of price gouging when it comes to vaccines for coronavirus, with potential treatment for drugs for coronavirus. So that can be also a problem. But this is definitely a dope proposal. Definitely a dope proposal.